That's my beautiful little installation. It's called Shoreline Marine inline fuel filter. But like I said, it's adaptable. So if you can run, well, 6mm is a 1/4 inch. You know, pretty damn close. It's like, I think it's 6.2 or 6.3 millimeters, 1/4 inch. That's why they're saying 6mm, 8mm. They're really all the same size. But anyway, because it's a rubber hose, I mean, it'll work if it's off just a hair. But you got more adapters here, and sometimes, you know, these can come in handy for something too. You never know. You can always get some kind of pipe fitting or something like that you might need. Screw this barb into the pipe fitting and go with a hose and make something. So I think it's well worth it. I needed a fuel filter anyway. The other one was in there 15 years, and so instead of buying one of those damn things, I think what I did before, I used some kind of real high quality stretchable hose or some crap, and I just stretched it over that thing. But that was in there for when I changed out this hose. The old hose was in there probably about almost 20 years. That's when I installed that carburetor almost 20 years ago. I'd say maybe 17 years ago. I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I'm not sure. But it's a cool setup, man. I really love these kind of filters because, just like I said, the glass ones, you can see exactly what's going on. The plastic ones, you can't see really perfectly. And sometimes the plastic ones, if they're resting against something, they can, very rarely do they break, but they can break. This is stronger than the plastic one. And you can still see through it, so. But big deal is you can join 2 different size hoses. Yeah, I really like that feature. Some eBay place I got it. I don't know where the hell it was again, but if you look it up, you can find it. It's called Shoreline Marine. Part number SL52202. That's what the hell it is. And the filtration, I don't know what it is. It's pretty fine though. You also want to watch. I remember it wasn't 1 micron, because they can get filters that are really super fine, and you'll find out you'll be clogging up your fuel filter left and right if you get something too fine. You don't want to go too fine. Well, here's a very interesting, versatile gas filter. Well, first off, one thing I like about it, it's clear, so you can see what's going on with it. And by the way, a lot of times when these things start getting clogged up, just take some starting fluid and blast them in and out through the inlet and outlet after you remove it, and usually that'll just clean it up. You don't even have to, better off to rinse them out with starting fluid versus gasoline. You'll really clean them out. You know, basically from the opposite direction. Now, I like these old fuel filters that are inline. First off, you know, the kind that are in the gas tank in the modern cars with the electric fuel pumps. If your gas tank is low, sometimes you can pull water in there and get some rust on the bottom of the gas tank because of the ethanol fuel. And, you know, also even freeze-ups and stuff. So, like, one of the things I like about the manual fuel pump, even though sometimes you got to crank the car a bunch of times to get it going, to get the fuel up in there, and you got to pump the gas pedal to get the accelerator pump to pump some gas into the car, into the engine. They're actually more reliable, to tell you the truth, man. Yeah, you might have to do a couple extra manual things. Now, what I have on here, this is either a 5/16 or a 1/4 inch. I think it's a 5/16, and this is a 3/8. What I should really do, and I think this is a 5/16. Forget what this one is. It's a 5/16 or 3/4 inch inlet and outlet. And, you know, I really should change it up here to make this the same size hose as that. But what I decided to do is just get a filter that you can change out each side. In other words, I can run a 1/4 inch, a 5/16, or a 3/8, or I can run a 6/8 or 10mm on either the outlet or the inlet. You know, you can make them both the same, or you can use them to join different size hoses. And I got different size hoses, so it's the perfect solution actually. And what I'm going to do is when I screw these in the ends, I'm going to put a little bit of this high-tack spray gasket sealant, which is actually designed for fuel, to make sure they're screwed in there nice and tight and they don't come out by vibration. I don't think they ever will, but just to make double sure. So anyway, what I like about this, it's clear. This one, I like the plastic ones, but they're not as strong as these metal ones. But this one is glass with metal. So, like the old plastic ones, sometimes they can, I don't know, it's not often they break, but say you're pushing on a hose really hard or something like that, you're reusing it, you could break it. You don't really break the metal ones that easy, but the plastic ones you can see through. This one's metal and glass. So, I don't think you're going to break these barbs or anything like that. And you got, usually, the plastic ones, if they break, it's usually not the barb itself. It's like right about where it joins. That doesn't happen often, but, it's plus or minus to everything. So this has the advantage of the metal ones and the see-through ones all at the same time. So it's a good filter. Plus, you can use it for any size, and you can join 2 different size hoses, like I got, which I think is great. Okay, just installed the barbs on here. They screw all the way down, and I put the high-tech Permatex sealant on there on the threads, which is fuel resistant too. So, but one thing, also good thing is, say you're pulling this filter out in the middle of the night or something, say it got clogged up. You're going to put it back in, the right way in and out, because the one side is different size from the other. That's another good thing. But you can see if it gets clogged up or not. This one, boy, when I shook it out, I remember I cleaned this out a couple times with starting fluid before. It's probably been in there 15 years, but I'm still going to keep it. I don't know what for. Anyway, it should last a little longer. And actually, even when this wears out, you could probably, knock something through it all the way to use this as an adapter, like to join 2 different types of hoses. Even if, say, the fuel filter got knocked out, all the worn out, you could probably stick like a long ice pick through there or something like that to make sure it's clear all the way through. Say it's totally worn out. It could always be used for something. So anyway, I put a little door lube grease on there, so get this on here. I always use my little well, it should go on there pretty easy, but sometimes if you have a problem getting them on a hose, you take a little bit of you take some pliers and you just grab them around here gently so you can turn this back and forth, and it gets on there pretty good. And if it's on there really tight, get some grease, or that's how I like this junk. It's like WD-40 on steroids.